For 90 days straight, I took cold showers every single morning. No warm water, no, just for today. No quitting halfway through because it felt uncomfortable. And before I started this challenge, I saw people online claiming cold showers would completely transform your life. They said it would make you fearless, massively productive, mentally unstoppable, and full of endless energy. Honestly, I didn't believe most of it. A lot of self-improvement trends get exaggerated online. People try something difficult for 3 days, feel temporarily motivated, then act like they discovered the secret to life. So I wanted to test cold showers for myself and see what actually happened without the fake hype. And after 90 days, the truth turned out to be much more interesting than I expected. The first cold shower was horrible. The moment the freezing water hit my body, every instinct screamed at me to get out immediately. My breathing became chaotic. My muscles tightened. My brain basically entered panic mode. It felt unnatural, uncomfortable, and honestly kind of stupid. I remember standing there thinking, there's no way people enjoy this. The first week felt like a mental battle every single morning. I would stand outside the shower trying to prepare myself mentally like I was about to enter a war zone. My brain constantly searched for excuses. You can skip today. Warm water is healthier. This challenge doesn't even matter. But eventually I realized something important. The hardest part was never the cold itself. It was the anticipation. The fear before stepping in was worse than the actual experience. And strangely, that lesson started affecting other areas of my life too. I realized how often people avoid difficult things simply because they fear discomfort. Not because the challenge is impossible, but because the mind exaggerates how painful it will feel. That may have been the first real benefit I noticed from cold showers. Not superhuman energy. Not instant transformation. Just better control over my own mind. Every morning I stepped into freezing water. I practiced doing something uncomfortable on purpose. And over time, that built mental discipline. But let me be honest about something important. Cold showers did not magically fix my life. I didn't suddenly become rich, hyper-productive, or permanently motivated. And I think that's where a lot of online self-improvement advice becomes misleading. People take one habit and treat it like a miracle cure for every problem in existence. Real life doesn't work that way. Cold showers are a tool, not magic. But after the first few weeks, I did begin noticing some interesting changes. The biggest was alertness. After a cold shower, my body felt awake immediately. The shock of the cold water forced me into full awareness. There was no sleepy, slow transition into the morning anymore. My heart rate increased. Breathing sharpened, and my mind became extremely focused for a while afterward. It felt almost like forcing the body to switch on, and honestly, that morning alertness became addictive. Another thing I noticed was that my tolerance for discomfort improved over time. At the beginning, even a few seconds of cold water felt unbearable. But gradually, my body adapted. The cold never became comfortable, but it stopped feeling terrifying. That adaptation taught me something powerful about human beings. People are far more adaptable than they think. The body and mind adjust to challenges when exposed consistently. The problem is that most people quit before adaptation happens. They experience discomfort once and assume they can't handle it. But discomfort often becomes easier when repeated over time. And that lesson extends far beyond cold showers. Exercise works like that. Discipline works like that. Confidence works like that. Even life works like that. The more you face difficult things, the less power they have over you. Around day 30, I also noticed changes in my mood after showers. Not happiness exactly, but a kind of mental reset. Starting the day with something difficult created momentum. It felt like I had already accomplished something challenging before most people even woke up. And psychologically, that matters. When you begin your day by avoiding discomfort, your brain learns avoidance. But when you begin by confronting discomfort directly, your mindset changes slightly. You carry that sense of control into the rest of the day. However, I also learned that many claims about cold showers are exaggerated online. For example, some people talk about them like they're a replacement for sleep, exercise, healthy eating, or mental health care. That's nonsense. Cold showers cannot compensate for a terrible lifestyle. If you sleep 4 hours, eat junk food constantly, never exercise, and live under endless stress, cold water alone is not going to save you. And honestly, that's one of the biggest problems with internet wellness culture. People constantly search for one magical habit instead of improving the fundamentals. The basics still matter most. Sleep matters. Nutrition matters. Movement matters. Stress management matters. Cold showers simply became one useful addition to those things, not a replacement for them. Another interesting effect I noticed was how cold showers changed my relationship with comfort. Modern life makes comfort incredibly easy to access. Warm rooms, endless entertainment, constant stimulation, instant pleasure everywhere. And while comfort itself isn't bad, too much comfort slowly weakens people mentally. Humans grow through challenge. Cold showers forced me to experience controlled discomfort every day, and strangely, voluntarily choosing discomfort made other difficult tasks feel smaller afterward. Hard workout, less intimidating. Stressful meeting, more manageable. Difficult conversation, not as overwhelming. Because my brain slowly stopped panicking every time discomfort appeared. And I think that may be one of the biggest reasons some people benefit from cold exposure. Not because cold water has magical powers, but because regularly facing discomfort changes your mindset. Around day 60, the routine started feeling automatic. I no longer wasted mental energy debating whether or not to do it. I simply stepped in and handled it. That's when I realized another important lesson: discipline becomes easier when decisions disappear. At first, every cold shower required motivation. Later, it became identity. I was simply someone who took cold showers every morning. And that shift matters because long-term habits become sustainable when they stop depending on temporary emotions. But there were still days I hated it. Winter mornings were brutal. Some days my body felt exhausted, and stepping into freezing water felt deeply unpleasant. So I don't want to pretend this challenge became easy or enjoyable all the time. It didn't. And honestly, that's why I think the experience taught me something valuable. You do not need to love discomfort in order to benefit from it. You simply need to stop running from it constantly. By day 90, the biggest transformation wasn't physical at all. It was psychological. I felt more resilient. Not invincible. Not superhuman. Just mentally stronger. I trusted myself more because every morning I had practiced doing something difficult without negotiation. That repeated act of discipline slowly changed the way I viewed myself, and maybe that's the real reason challenges like this matter. Not because the habit itself magically transforms your life, but because keeping difficult promises to yourself builds self-respect. Most people break promises to themselves constantly. They say they'll wake up early, then don't. They say they'll work out, then quit. They say they'll change, then repeat the same habits tomorrow. Over time, that destroys self-trust. But every time you consistently do something difficult, even when you don't feel like it, you rebuild confidence internally. And honestly, that confidence matters more than the cold water itself. So after 90 days, would I recommend cold showers? Yes, but not for the reasons social media usually gives. Not because they'll magically solve all your problems. Not because they'll instantly turn you into an ultra-disciplined machine. Not because they'll replace healthy habits. I'd recommend them because they teach you how to face discomfort instead of avoiding it. And in a world where most people constantly chase comfort, that lesson becomes surprisingly powerful. Because sometimes the real transformation doesn't come from the cold water. It comes from proving to yourself that you can handle difficult things without running away.